I'm in accordance with you in terms of his level of insensitivity, particularly as it pertains to the George Floyd killing and the things that emanated from that. I certainly am glad that he apologized for the ignorant statement that he made in terms of calling the insurrection, per se, at the U.S. Capitol a dust-up, highly inappropriate, highly insensitive, highly ridiculous. And Jack Del Rio should be embarrassed that those words came out of his mouth. But here's where I'm going to give a pause and leave Ryan Clark up there because I want to say something to him, especially since you're doing such a great job with the pivot on your podcast and you're reaching so many lives with what you're doing. See, Stephen A. a little bit different. And let me tell you why. What would appall some people like a Keyshawn Johnson? What would make Ryan Clark say, oh, I know how you feel now, okay? So you can never talk to me a certain way. Well, first of all, that's not entirely true because Jack Del Rio could have never talked to you that way. He never would have pulled that off. He uttered a syllable like that towards you. That would have been a wrap. So please, that was long before he said this stuff. So let's stop that. And he certainly would never say that to Keyshawn Johnson. And the likelihood is that if he was directly communicating with players one-on-one, that would be different. That's not what the man was doing. And we don't want to address this, so I'm going to. He's white. He's not black. And there's an awful lot of white people that cannot in any way identify with the plight that African Americans feel physically, emotionally, spiritually, subliminally. The list goes on and on and on. When are we going to stop expecting them to do that? We have to get to a point where we look at a Jack Del Rio and what he said and actually be gratified that there was somebody that was willing to be open about their ignorance. Guess why? Jack Del Rio shouldn't be vilified. He shouldn't be somebody that's excoriated and nobody wants to talk to him again. You know what black people should be willing to do? They should be able to walk right up to Jack Del Rio. Hey, how you doing? Let's have a conversation about what you said. Let me use this as an opportunity to educate you. Because if we're ever going to have any hope towards making this world a better place, making somebody cower and hide and muzzle themselves and never feeling free to speak up only disguises what they're feeling, which harbors and harnesses their ignorance. Therefore, they walk around feeling ignorant, being oblivious to the kind of things that plague them and us and our society, and none of us get any better. But when he was willing to be open, I found nothing offensive about what he said. I thought it was ignorant. I thought it was ill-informed. I thought it was foolish for him to think that, but I appreciated the fact that he was honest enough to say, we're all Americans. Let's have a conversation. He didn't say something, go hide, not want to talk to people. He actually invited a conversation. You know what that means, Ryan Clark? That means you and your boys, okay, with the pivot, should go and talk to Jack Del Rio. Because he invited you. He invited you. He said, let's have a conversation. So let's have the conversation. Because this nation is never going to recover from the divisiveness that has plagued us, from the politicians that continue to feed that divisiveness that plagues us all while they sit up on Capitol Hill, being indentured servants to lobbyists at our expense. We're never going to get better as a society if everybody gets to duck and weave and hide because they're afraid of the shrapnel of criticism that's coming their way. Jack Del Rio spoke. Neither of us agree with him. You eloquently articulated why you disagree with him. But now's an opportunity because he said, quote, let's have a conversation. That gives Ryan Clark, a brilliant brother, who's done a great, great job in media, who did a great job, won a Super Bowl championship as a football player, who has credibility across the nation. That gives you and others an opportunity to walk right up to him and to say, let me educate you about this experience so you'll know exactly why we were put off about it. As opposed to somebody like my brother, Keyshawn Johnson, who's like, I could never play with him. Keyshawn Johnson's another brilliant brother. What do you mean you can't play for him? You can't talk to him? You can't correct him? So somebody makes a mistake, they're foolish, their ignorance gets exposed, and you want to cut them off forever? No, that's not how we're going to get better. We get better by taking the license to educate those who need to be educated, especially when they give us the opportunity to do so. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.